All right, let's just dive right into it. Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling a topic that, honestly, strikes fear into the hearts of so many people: right-angled trigonometry. But don't worry, we're going to transform it from this abstract, kind of intimidating math concept into a literal, everyday toolbox. By the end of this, you'll see how these simple tools are basically master keys for solving some wildly fascinating real-world mysteries. Let's get to it. Here's our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll start with the magic of trigonometry, move on to labeling your triangle, finding missing side lengths, calculating unknown angles, and finally, we'll put it all together with real-world problem solving. All right, part one, the magic of trigonometry. Now, I use the word magic on purpose here because the things you can do with this math, they genuinely feel like superpowers. Let's anchor this in a real-world mystery. Picture this. You're standing at sea level, right? And you're staring up at this massive, towering mountain peak. How could you possibly measure its exact height without ever actually climbing the thing? Think about it for a second. Obviously, you can't just drop a giant tape measure down from the clouds, so what do? Well, check this out. By taking a couple of simple angles of elevation from two completely different points at sea level, like here, we've got point A at 37.1 degrees and point B at 41.9 degrees, we essentially trace out these invisible mathematical triangles. And by using the relationships hidden inside those triangles, we can calculate the exact height, that h right there, without taking a single step up the mountain. That right there is exactly why this math matters. It literally lets us measure the unreachable. So let's demystify the jargon for a second. Trigonometry sounds super intimidating, I know, but it actually comes from Greek words that just mean, well, triangle measure. That's the whole shebang. It's just the branch of math that deals with the relationship between the lengths of a triangle's sides and the measures of its angles. Oh, and a quick heads up. To keep things simple for this explainer, we're strictly dealing with right-angled triangles today. You know, the ones with that perfect 90-degree corner. Moving right along, section 2, labeling your triangle. Listen. The entire foundation of trig is just pattern recognition. Seriously, if you can label a triangle properly, you've already won half the battle. So let's nail down our first label, the hypotenuse. It's a fancy word, but a super simple concept. It is always, and I mean absolutely always, the longest side of a right triangle. If you're ever in doubt, just spot that 90-degree right angle symbol, that little square in the corner, and look directly across from it. Bam! There's your hypotenuse. Next up, we have the opposite side. Now, this one shifts around depending on which angle we're actually looking at. In math, we usually use the Greek letter theta. It looks like a little zero with a horizontal line through it to mark our angle of interest. So for any given angle theta, the opposite side is exactly what it sounds like. It's the side way over on the opposite end of the triangle. It's literally the side that theta is looking at. And to finish up our visual map, we've got the third and final side. This one sits right smack alongside our reference angle theta. And, fittingly enough, the word for sitting next to something is adjacent. So there you go, hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. Honestly, that's it. Your visual map is locked in. Okay, section 3, finding missing side lengths. Earlier, I promised you a practical toolbox, and right now, I'm handing over the ultimate math cheat codes. This 4-step playbook you're seeing is absolutely crucial. It's a rock-solid, repeatable process that puts you in total control of literally any right triangle problem. Step 1, label your sides, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse, just like we just practiced. Step 2, highlight the info you actually know and pick your formula, SOH-CAH-TOA, SAW, and HALA. Step 3, set up the equation. And step 4, solve it. Let's actually put this playbook to the test. All right, check out this practical challenge. We've got a ladder leaning up against a vertical wall. It reaches exactly 3.5 meters high, and it hits the ground at a 55-degree angle. Our mission? Find the actual length of the ladder. Now, before I just give you the answer, I want you to play along. What's step 1? Based on that 55-degree angle, what do we call that 3.5-meter wall, and what do we call the ladder itself? Did you guess it? Here's the aha moment. Step 1, the wall is our opposite side, and the ladder is the hypotenuse. Since we're working with opposite and hypotenuse, step 2 tells us to grab the SOH ratio, that's sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Then, step 3, we set it up, sine of 55 degrees equals 3.5 divided by x. Finally, we just use a bit of basic algebra in our calculator, multiply both sides by x, divide by the sine of 55, and boom, the ladder is exactly 4.27 meters long. Pretty cool, right? Let's lock this in with one more real-world scenario just to really cement this framework. Imagine you're building a house and you need to know the total length of a horizontal roofing beam to support this roof. We know the slanted edge of the roof, which is our hypotenuse, is 8.2 meters long, and it's pitched at a 14-degree angle. What we need to find is the flat base, let's call it x, which makes up exactly half of our total beam. So, sticking to our playbook, we want to find the adjacent side, and we already know the hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse? That means we use CAH, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So our equation is the cosine of 14 degrees equals x divided by 8.2. To get x by itself, we multiply 8.2 by the cosine of 14. Throwing that in the calculator gives us 7.956 meters. But wait, remember the context here. That's only half the beam. We've got to double that number, which gives us a total roofing beam length of 15.9 meters. Nailed it! Moving on to section 4, calculating unknown angles. Now, you might be wondering, what happens if we know the sides, but the angle is the big mystery? Well, good news. Our 4-step playbook still works like a charm. Let's set the scene. We've got Elise, and she's standing on top of a 50-foot building. She looks down and spots her friend Molly, who's standing exactly 30 feet away from the bottom of the building. The question is, what is the specific angle from Molly looking all the way up to Elise? All right, same drill. Label the sides from Molly's point of view. That 50-foot building, that's our opposite side. The 30 feet of ground between them, that's the adjacent side. Opposite and adjacent means it's time for TOA. Tangent equals opposite over adjacent. So the tangent of our mystery angle is 50 over 30. Now, to work backward and actually find the angle itself, we use a neat little trick called the inverse tangent function on our calculators. You literally just punch in the inverse tangent of 50 divided by 30, and suddenly that hidden angle is right there on the screen, 59.04 degrees. It's almost too easy. And finally, section 5, real-world problem solving. Okay, let's tie all of this together into one master problem-solving checklist that you can use out in the wild. First step, and I can't stress this enough, always draw a diagram. Seriously, get it out of your head and onto paper. Second, clearly mark exactly what you're trying to find, whether it's a side length x or an angle theta. Third, double-check your assumptions. Make sure you're actually dealing with a right angle and straight lines. Fourth, pick your weapon. Write down the relationship using SOH-CAH-TOA or TOA. Fifth, solve the math. And finally, this is key, bring it back to reality. Write your answer out in a clear sentence, just like we did with the ladder and the roof. Give the number some meaning. You know, you are walking away today with the master keys to calculate some unbelievably precise measurements, using just a tiny bit of information. Which leaves me with one final thought for you to chew on. Next time you're just walking around outside, take a look at the architecture around you. Look at the shadows cast by trees or the sloping roofs of houses down your street. Where else in your world are right-angled triangles hiding in plain sight, just waiting for you to measure them? Think about it. Keep that curiosity alive, and thanks so much for joining me today on The Explainer.